And so what Lewis means when he talks about the clean sea breeze of the centuries blowing through our minds is simply that we're enabled to get a different perspective on ideas and on questions that we never thought about before. Since we all share similar assumptions, no matter how radically we might disagree, to find someone else who actually differs on those very different assumptions is helpful. It enables us to unearth the sort of mental baggage that we otherwise would never question. So perspective is a valuable thing. Reading the great books for the purpose of understanding what made our culture is a valuable thing. Our culture, for all the fact that over the last century we've been rejecting and ignoring history, our culture is still deeply, deeply indebted to the ideas of the past. And to read the great books of the past, to read Aristotle and his discussion of metaphysics, or Plato and his discussion of virtue in the soul, or Augustine and his discussion of the philosophy of history, or Shakespeare, or Milton, or Spencer, or Homer, or Virgil and their discussions of beauty and poetry and power and human nature and so on. Those books are the books that shaped the people who shaped our culture. They're the books that shaped our culture. And not to know them is not to know why our culture is the way it is. So a Christian approach to the great books doesn't reject all those ideas, but a Christian approach to the great books differs in this respect. Many modern followers of the great books idea have what we might call a syncretistic approach to the discovery of truth. That is, truth comes from a variety of areas, including a sort of triangulation between the ideas of the great books. If we stand and listen to what is called the Great Conversation, the conversation carried on over time by Aristotle and Augustine and Thomas Aquinas and John Calvin and John Milton and Dostoevsky and so on, if we listen to the conversation made up of all those voices, we can come, says this approach, to truth. But a Christian can't say that. A Christian certainly agrees that we can find out valuable things from reading the ideas of the past, but a Christian finds the locus of truth and meaning and significance in revelation. The revelation of God in the world through His Son Jesus Christ and through His church and through the Scriptures. That's where we find truth. So reading the great books can certainly be valuable, but it's not the source of truth. So a Christian approach to the great books says that we find truth through the revelation of God in the world through the means I've mentioned, and then with the revelation that's given to us by a revealing God, we can read the great books and we have some way of discerning and discriminating what's true and what's false, of separating the wheat from the chaff, of plundering the Egyptians, as St. Augustine put it.